becoming a content creator at the age of 50. In this video, I'm going to tell you why I started my YouTube channel when I was 50 years old. I'm going to tell you why I started it at that age. I'm going to tell you why that was the perfect time for me to start and could be for you. I'm going to tell you why I could not have done it before then. I'm going to tell you what stopped me in the past. I'm going to tell you what my future plans are, because not only has YouTube changed my life, I am the happiest I have ever been. So let's get going. It is never too late to change anything that you want to in your life. You may feel completely stuck. You may feel like you are trapped. You may feel like you have no options. You do. We all do. I am a prime example of somebody who felt stuck in a career that I just was not enjoying. And I thought I was literally stuck in it. I was trapped. I had no other alternatives, no choices. And look at me. Look at me. You might think, well, who are you? And I know you guys don't know me yet. But I started my YouTube channel when I was 50 years old. And that is nearly 4 years ago. It has gone so quickly. And I am the happiest that I've ever been, honestly. And a huge chunk of that is down to YouTube. I'm going to explain all. I published my first ever video on the 1st of July 2022. 2 days before that, had walked out of my 30-year accountancy career. I did. I walked out. It's a whole story of which I can tell you guys if you particularly want to know. But suffice to say, I just hadn't been enjoying any part of my career for the longest time. But I felt trapped. I felt this is my path. This is what I've chosen to do. I am now 50 years of age. What on earth? I can't make any changes. What am I going to do differently? Who's going to take me on as a 50-year-old changing careers? Or does it mean I just need to change that role into something very similar and have the same problems? Well, I walked out, and as I say, it's a whole story. But on walking out, I felt so many emotions. I felt empowered. I also felt lost. I also felt literally I'm at my absolute worst. Physically, mentally, my anxiety was through the roof. I just felt my whole life was imploding. I was totally lost. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I also felt empowered. There was a lot of mixed emotions because I'd found the courage somehow to walk away. But I was so scared about what I was going to do next. But the one thing that I wasn't scared of, and I can't even understand why, but I wasn't scared of putting a YouTube video up. So what on earth was I thinking? I'm at my absolute lowest mentally. I'd put loads of weight on. I felt terrible physically. I was not well in health terms. I was literally, why would somebody who is full of anxiety, really shy, feeling like they don't want to mix with anybody, I don't want to see anybody. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I was teased about, that's a whole other thing, teased about how I speak. Why would somebody at their lowest point who feels lost and no purpose and no structure, and why would you put yourself on the internet where you literally put yourself open for everybody to criticize or just to look at you? Why would somebody do that? Somebody who's seemingly quite shy and introverted. I can't really answer it other than I felt I wanted to try. I love watching YouTube and I'd love seeing all these different videos. So it was something that I was, I suppose, just really interested in. And if you ask anybody that knows me outside of YouTube, they would say that I am the last person they would have thought would actually put themselves on the internet. So I don't know, there was some burning something inside of me that wanted to try. So why didn't I do it before then? What was it about that time? I think it was just I was going to say I wasn't ready before then, but I don't think you can ever get to a point where you go, right, I'm ready. I'm now ready. I'm going to do it. I think sometimes in your lowest moments, you have to make the decisions. You're at rock bottom. And when you're at rock bottom, there's only one way, isn't there? There's only one way, and it's up. Or you can stay where you are. And there was something, I found some courage from somewhere to make a few changes. The first one was walking away from my job, and that was a huge thing. And I haven't regretted that for a second, other than feeling lost and a bit worried about how I was going to earn money, what I was going to do with my life, what my life was going to look like. Other than those worries, which obviously are very real worries, there was something inside of me that wanted and needed to make some changes. YouTube has been a massive part of that. I was obviously looking for something. I was looking for connection. I was looking for like-minded people. I was looking for an outlet. There was a lot of things I wanted to talk about on YouTube that I felt like I couldn't with my friends in real life, if you like. There was a lot of judgment, and I was obviously trying to find an outlet. Slight interlude to actually introduce who I am. I am Deb, and this is The Wild Edit, and this is my new channel on which I am sharing my experiences behind the scenes of YouTube. As a very small content creator, I have another channel which is a smidge under 10,000 subscribers, which is the one that's been going for nearly 4 years now, 3 and a bit years. And that's all about luxury bags. That's why there's some up there. And as I keep saying, I cannot be bothered to keep changing the background. So ignore the bags unless you like to look at them. That's not what this video is about. But there was a lot of judgment regarding purchasing, spending money on something luxurious. And yeah, in my real life, a lot of people don't get it. And that is absolutely as it should be. But it's the judgment against somebody who chooses to do something in their own life that I really don't like. Anyway, I was obviously looking for something, and a lot of those things I must have thought I could try and find in YouTube. Now, I started YouTube not to earn money. It wasn't ever going to be a business. It wasn't right, I'm going to leave this job as an accountant and I'm going to start my new career as a YouTuber. Not at all. Very, very quickly, I did start to think like a business person because that's who I am. And also I started to see the potential, and therefore that just gave me that extra bit of grit to try and push forward. But in the early days, I was looking for connection and looking for something. So what has YouTube given me? Well, it's given me a lot of purpose. It's given me structure and some focus. For anybody that knows, when you've walked out of your job or when you've retired, any of those things, suddenly you've gone from being so immersed in work, so stressed and having deadlines and people, a million people needing things all at the same time. And you have to remember, at the same time for me, my children were getting older. It's the age of 50 where suddenly you're an empty nester, and much as it's exciting to have a bit more time, it's also very unnerving, and yeah, it feels very lonely, and I felt very lost. So I think all these things became a bit of a perfect storm, that I needed to change things, and I needed the focus. I needed to fill my time with something of which I'd never, for the last 30 years, I'd never had any time at all. And suddenly I had time. And I didn't know what to do with it. So it gave me purpose. It gave me focus. It gave me some structure. I treated it, even in the early days when it was never going to be a business, I still sat down at my desk and gave it time as if it was, I suppose, a bit more structured time, just so that I had something to get up for. Because let's face it, when we are at our lowest point, it's very easy, isn't it, to not get out of bed, to not want to do anything, to find a reason to even try is so difficult. So YouTube gave me that. So why couldn't I do it any earlier? Why didn't I make those changes earlier? Well, again, I could say I wasn't ready, but in reality, I think sometimes you just have to have that perfect storm and you have to find the courage. And I chose that time to find the courage. I couldn't have done it earlier with the workload that I had. I was working ridiculous hours every week. I had younger children who needed to be in a million different places and needed my attention. And I wanted to be the best mum I could be. I wanted to be in that. And so when they both started to fly the nest, it has given me a little bit more time. And therefore, what I would say is I wasn't ready before that. I just couldn't have even contemplated doing it. However, what I would say to any of you guys is if you are even in the realms of thinking about it, just do it. And I know so many people say this, but just do it, because I think the way I'm stuttering over my words, because I think the way I would think about it is there's nothing that can go wrong with it. At worst, it doesn't work out. At worst, you've given it a go and you didn't enjoy it. It wasn't what you thought it was going to be. The worst fear for me is not trying, not giving it a go and having any regrets. So I do think that it is never, ever too late. Doesn't matter how old you are. I have people in my comments who say they are in their 70s and they are starting YouTube. And I think that is amazing, because why not? Why can't anybody do anything at any point? When you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever old it seems to be to other people, people think, oh, you're starting that very late in your life. Well, who cares? Who cares? I don't think I've got any less to give now. And I'm now 54. I don't think I've got any less to give than I did 20 years ago. I've probably got a lot more to give because I've got a lot more life experience. And the fact that I've come to the end of my career, as it seems, and I've started now a new career, is so exciting. But it just shows you that actually this is a great time for somebody our age, if you are my age or whatever watching this. If you are somebody that's just thinking, oh, I can't do that, it's too late for me, I'm stuck doing X, Y, or Z. You're not. There are options, and you might think that there aren't. I thought the same. But there are, I promise you. Even if you do YouTube as a side hustle at the beginning, do it. Absolutely do it. Don't let anything or anybody stop you, because actually being an empty nester, you do have a little bit more time just because the kids are a bit more self-sufficient. But yeah, I think we all have something to give, because we're all human and we are all individual, and that's what makes all of us really special. So yeah, I don't want to come on here and just do really generic content. I want to share my experiences because it's not easy, and I've been at absolute rock bottom. I really, really have. It can be a whole video. It can be a whole series of videos about what I have been through. But the crux of it is that I have found something to help me give myself a lot more structure. And I honestly, and this sounds melodramatic, and I've said this in other videos, but I have completely turned my life around. I'm at the gym 6 times a week generally. I am trying so much harder with my nutrition. I am the healthiest I've been in a long time. I'm the fittest I've ever been in my life. I'm the happiest I've been. Even though I have struggles, as we all do as we get older, and there's certain medical things that come along and ailments and all the rest of it, I am still the happiest I've ever been because I've taken control in my life. And it feels really good. It also feels really exciting that I don't know what my future holds. I'm not just stuck in this tunnel of, oh, this is my life now. No, I have choices, and we all do. Even when you think in your darkest days that you don't, you do. So yeah, that's just a little bit more about me. Thank you so much for watching. I would love you to share some of your experiences. Have you started YouTube yet? Are you watching this because you're trying to find encouragement to start? Just do it. If you already have a channel and you're thinking, I don't know, it's not going well, or you're loving it, just let me know. Let's build a community and we can all help each other. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on another one.